It is, of course, the week after Christmas, and so what else would Republicans do than cut off unemployment benefits to 1.3, 1.4 million people? You don't need no unemployment benefit. Sir, may I please have a lump of coal? No, you may not. Playing the role of Scrooge on our program today, Neil McCabe, conservative commentator, editor of Guns and Patriots newsletter, neilwmccabe.com, his website. Hey, Neil, welcome back.
Hey, great to be with you, and thank you for a classic Thom Hartmann introduction.
I thought you would appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Neil, this seems to me, to be bad politics to say to millions of people, sorry, we're not going to extend your unemployment benefits during a time of recession. I could understand in 1980 when Reagan and Carter were running against each other and unemployment was 3.6%, and we actually calculated it differently, so it actually probably was around 3.6%. But now, you've got unemployment somewhere between 7 and 20%, depending on how you calculate it. And number two, so it seems like bad politics. It seems like bad policy. Because the job creators in our economy, of course, are the low-wage workers. They're the people who spend 100% of the money they get. And if they're not working, if they're getting benefits like unemployment benefits, all of that money is going immediately into the economy, into stimulating the economy. And it seems like bad morality. I don't get it. How can you, as a Republican, or either speaking on your own behalf or on behalf of the party, I realize you don't speak on behalf of the party, but how can you justify this?
Well, I just want to back up and make sure that we're talking about the same thing. Is this the cutoff of extended unemployment benefits? Was that part of the compromise between Paul Ryan and Patty Murray?
No. The unemployment benefits back in 2008, when the
failure to extend.
When the crash happened, they decided to extend unemployment benefits for 99 weeks after the 26 weeks that you normally get. In the big, almost shut down the government deal, President Obama gave the Republicans, they dialed that from 99 weeks back to either 74 or 76 weeks as a sweetener to get the Republicans to go along with the deal in extended unemployment benefits. And this failure to extend that extension takes it to just the straight 26 weeks.
So we're basically back to where we were before, which is
where we were in 2007.
6 months is very generous, don't you?
No, I frankly, I think everybody in the country should have a minimum income. Money. I agree with Thomas Paine, but that's a whole different discussion.
Because when we take, just like every other sort of government safety net program, when you tax money or take money from one group of people and give it to another group of people, it's pretty much a zero-sum game, except for the huge cut that the government bureaucrats take for managing the social program.
Oh, they're getting richer than we can imagine, Neil. It's just mind-boggling. Stephen J. Hemsley has, 8 houses? These government bureaucrats must have 10, 12?
Well, you know how they live. You know how much work they really do pushing papers around. There's tens of thousands around them, just around your studio. And, the commute back to the wealthy suburbs of Maryland is full of these government hacks. Please try to find one on a Friday afternoon, Tom.
So you're suggesting, Neil, that because unemployment benefits are paid for by people who work for the government, in other words, they determine who gets them, they make sure that the checks get out on time, that we should do away with the program? Are you seriously saying that?
No, what I'm saying, Tom, is that nobody has a problem with short-term assistance to people who are in need.
26 weeks.
Well, 6 months is very generous, and it's enough. And if it's not enough, then people need to go into the free economy, and so we need to preserve a free economy that's there for them. The other point,
but Neil, capitalism has failed.
That the government
we got robbed by the banksters.
The expense of running these programs with these huge growing.
No, we pay into unemployment benefit when you're working. Part of the taxes that are taken out of your pay cover unemployment benefits. We're paying for this. We all.
You're paying for the 99.
if I ever go on unemployment benefits, I will have been paying into that most of my life. It's an insurance program, just like any other insurance program, Neil. It's not a pension or a welfare program. It's an insurance program. We all pay into it collectively to cover the risk of a relatively small number of us who need it.
Well, then then obviously there's a savings to the federal government that is important, because right now we're running at a deficit. And so 26 weeks, to pay out over 26 weeks, the government has to borrow money to cover that.
Maybe right? Not. I mean, the government borrows money. The government also has an incredible. Well, they also have a lot of income. I mean, trillions of dollars come into the government tax dollars every year. You don't know which are allocated to which. I could make the case that 100% of the defense budget is borrowed and everything else is paid for out of tax revenues.
All right, I'll almost accept that. The other thing I want to talk to you about is, one, there are studies that show that people are reluctant or hesitant to search for new jobs until they're at the end of their benefits. In Denmark, that's a huge problem, where benefits run, 5 years, and people start looking for work in their fourth year. But here in this country, I know people in my own family who have been on extended unemployment benefits, and then as it started to run out, they decided to rejoin the workforce.
Well, it must be something that has to do with the McCabe genes, Neil, because I've been on this planet longer than you, and I have never known anybody who would rather not have a job.
There are people listening to us right now who are on unemployment benefits and are sort of looking at the calendar saying, well, things are running out. The other thing, though, is...
But the jobs aren't there, Neil.
To be on a positive side, Tom, there are proposals to sort of offer people lump sums, so that when you're unemployed, rather than saying it's 26 weeks or whatever it is, let's say it's at 26 weeks, say a lump sum. We say, rather than pay you for 26 weeks, we'll give you a lump sum right now.
There's a million proposals out there. We could go back to Thomas Paine's proposal in Agrarian Justice, that every person at birth be endowed with a trust fund, so that when they turn 21, they'll have a guaranteed income for the rest of their life. I mean, there's lots and lots of proposals. The reality is, though, that today, over the last 2 days, 1.3 million Americans have lost their lifeline, have lost their ability to pay their mortgages.
Well, I mean, and they...
What do you say to them?
They have a house that they're paying a mortgage on. There's a lot of people without houses. I mean, there's a lot of... You're talking about, there's a lot of middle-class people who are going to have to make adjustments, but there's also a lot of working-class people who don't have houses and who don't have these...
So just lose your house.
In life. What's that?
Just lose your house. Suck it up.
Well, what do you mean, Tom? I mean, they didn't see this coming?
I think a lot of people who are unemployed didn't think that the banks were going to screw us. They didn't think that Phil Gramm was going to set this thing up.
We should have never bailed out the banks, Tom. I think we both agree on that.
But that doesn't help the guy who's unemployed because of policy decisions that you and I might agree on. Anyhow, Neil McCabe, we're out of time. NeilWMcCabe.com. Thanks, Neil.
All right, be good.